Tell me you haven't been here. You're halfway through telling your friends about some guy, and before you can even get to the punchline, they all scream red flag at the top of their lungs, right? It's wild how we can spot those warning signs in our friends' lives from a mile away, but when it comes to our own dating lives or friendships, we totally lose our ability to see them. Let me set the scene for you. You're texting this person you're kinda into, the convo is great, you're vibing, and then you send a solid paragraph. And what do you get back? Just a okay. And you know that feeling, that little thought in your stomach, that tiny annoying voice in your head that whispers, well, that was kinda rude. Or what about the friendship version? Your bestie promises, I am 100% coming to your birthday dinner, but then your birthday rolls around and she's a total ghost. No text, no call. The next day you get the classic, oh my god, so sorry, my week was so crazy, you know. And that little voice is back, practically yelling, seriously? A quick text was all I needed. Here's another one we need to talk about in the group chat. You're pouring your heart out about a truly terrible day and somehow they manage to hijack the entire conversation. You think that's bad? Wait till you hear what happened to me. And you can practically hear that voice yelling, I was talking. Is anyone even listening to me right now? But what do we actually do when that little red flag pops up? Girl, we are absolute champions of the cover-up. We immediately jump in to explain it away. We're like, oh, he's just busy, or she's probably just totally slammed with work. I'm just being too sensitive. I need to stop reading into everything. Basically, we take that little alarm bell ringing in our head, we stuff a giant sock in it, and we pretend we never even heard a peep. It's crazy because we have this totally incredible high-tech internal security system. It's literally designed to protect us. It scans people, it picks up on the weird micro-expressions, on the tone of voice, on those patterns of behavior that just don't add up. But guess who's the one who keeps smashing the snooze button on our own alarms? Yep. That would be us. I was thinking about this the other day and it reminded me of those old silly ads for X-ray glasses you'd seen in comic books. They promised you could see through walls or, see what people were really like underneath it all. And it hit me because we don't need those glasses. We were born with them. It's that gut feeling, that intuition. The problem is we've been taught to doubt it. We've been taught to be nice, to not make a scene, to give people the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. There's a powerful quote I love from the poet Maya Angelou, and it literally changed my life. She said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Read that again. The first time, not the 5th time they cancel plans, not the 10th time they make a joke at your expense, not the 100th time you feel drained after talking to them, the first time. But we don't, do we? We stick around for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th showing, hoping for a different version of the movie we already saw the trailer for. So, if we all have this incredible truth detector built in, why on earth do we keep ignoring it? Why do we silence that voice? Why do we choose to believe the fairy tale we tell ourselves about someone instead of the cold, hard facts they are showing us? That's exactly what we're going to unpack together. In this chat, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of why we do this. We'll talk about the fear of being alone, the need for approval, and why we'd rather be in a shaky relationship than face the truth. I'm going to give you real practical tools to stop making excuses for people who don't deserve them, to finally trust that little voice inside you, and to start choosing yourself. This is about turning your inner truth detector back on for good. Sound good? Let's get into it. Okay, so we've all been there. That icky feeling in your stomach when something just doesn't feel right with someone. But why is it so hard to listen to that feeling? Let's really break this down. Imagine you've got this amazing best friend living in your brain. Let's call her your gut feeling BFF. She's always looking out for you 24/7. When you're talking to that guy who's giving you mixed signals, she's tapping you on the shoulder like, hey, Bestie, I don't like how this feels. Let's bounce. She's like the GPS on your phone that's trying to keep you safe. When you're heading toward a bad neighborhood or a dead end, she's like recalculating, turn around, this is not safe. But we literally go, shut up, I know better. And we keep driving straight toward the trouble. We mute our GPS, we ignore our gut feeling bestie. Why? Because we start telling ourselves stories like, maybe I'm just being too sensitive, maybe it's my fault, maybe I'm just imagining things, everyone else seems to like this person, so it must be me. So we drive right past all the red flags waving in our face, and then we're shocked when we end up crashed and hurt. And our poor gut feeling bestie is sitting there like, I tried to warn you. Now, let's talk about why our brains do this weird thing. I call it the brain glitch. Your brain is like that friend who needs everything to be perfect and matching. You know, the one who gets stressed if her outfit colors don't match. That's your brain with information. When someone says one thing but does another, your brain has a total meltdown. It's like wearing winter boots with a bikini. It just doesn't make sense. Let's talk about some specific situations. For example, he texts, I miss you, but when you suggest a date to get together, he's too busy every single time. Or maybe it's your friend who insists you are my absolute favorite person, but then she posts pictures hanging out with a whole other group and somehow manages to never invite you. Or the classic one, someone tells you, I respect you and your choices, but then they constantly argue with you and try to change your mind about your job or your partner or anything you care about. Your brain is like, this doesn't make sense. So to stop feeling so confused and uncomfortable, your brain does two things. First, your brain becomes like a movie director, making up a whole story to explain why someone is treating you badly. It creates these elaborate excuses for them, like, oh, he's not texting me back because he's probably really busy with work, and, you know, his dog is sick and he's going through a lot right now. You're literally writing a whole novel in your head to justify why someone can't treat you right. And the second thing that happens, and honestly, this is the most messed up part, is that your own brain starts turning on you instead of being mad at them. Why does this happen? Because you, my friend, are a control freak. Admitting that you made a genuinely ugly choice of person, that someone else's behavior is completely outside your control, feels terrifying. So your brain defaults to the familiar toxic narrative where it's all your fault. Because if it's your fault, you have the power to fix it. If you're the problem, you can change. Your inner monologue becomes this series of attacks. It's screaming, who do you think you are to even complain? Start to think you're not even worthy of basic consideration. Then the absolute killer thought drops. Maybe I'm just too difficult to love. It quickly follows up with the classic excuses. Am I asking for too much? Your brain is telling you, essentially, maintain the illusion of control. It's easier to absorb all the blame and internalize the trauma than it is to look at someone and admit I chose a person whose behavior I cannot manage and that makes me completely helpless. You silence your legitimate hurt just to keep that control narrative alive. You end up feeling guilty for wanting basic respect. How crazy is that? It's like when you're watching a scary movie and you cover your eyes thinking if you can't see the monster, it's not there, right? Wrong. The monster is still there and the red flags are still there. You knew the truth all along, you just talked yourself out of believing it. And that icky feeling in your stomach, that's your gut feeling bestie still trying to get through to you. She's never stopped looking out for you, even when you try to ignore her. The good news is she's still there and we can learn to start listening to her again. In the next part, we're going to talk about exactly how to do that, how to unmute your GPS and start trusting your gut feeling bestie again. We just talked about how we ignore our gut feeling bestie, but that leads to the big $1 million question. If we know something's wrong, why do we stay? Let's be clear about one thing right now. It's not because we're stupid, It's not because we're naive little girls who don't know any better. We stay because of a deep, powerful human need. The need to feel loved, the need to feel chosen, the need to feel like we belong to someone. This need is so strong. It's like a hunger. And when you're starving, you'll eat anything, even if it's not good for you. You'll accept crumbs because you're just so desperate to feel full. We are so terrified of being alone, of being left, that we decide, you know what? I'd rather be in this half-bad relationship than be by myself. We're so scared that if we speak up and say, hey, that hurt my feelings, the other person will get mad, or worse, they'll leave us. So what do? We become people pleasers. We shrink ourselves. We become smaller and quieter. We start saying things like, better not say anything, I don't want to start a fight. Just let it go. It's not a big deal. We adapt, we tolerate, we make ourselves smaller to fit into their life. It happens so slowly, you don't even notice. It's like that story about the frog in the pot of water. If you throw a frog into boiling water, it will jump right out. But if you put it in cool water and slowly turn up the heat, it won't realize it's being cooked until it's too late. That's what happens to us. We get used to the warm water. One day they show up late, the next time they forget your birthday, then they make a joke that stings a little, the heat is turning up degree by degree, and we just sit there. We get used to feeling a little disrespected until one day we wake up and don't even recognize ourselves in the mirror anymore. The problem is they often give us just enough to keep us hooked. I call this the crumb diet. Imagine you're starving and someone throws you one single crumb of bread. Just one tiny crumb. When you're that hungry, that crumbs feels like a whole feast. You get so excited about that one crumb. And how does this look in real life? The crumbs are usually pretty easy to spot once you're looking for them. It's the coworker who only asks for your professional advice when their own project is failing, but acts like you don't exist the rest of the time. Or maybe it's that person you're dating who only compliments your appearance, but completely shuts down when you try to talk about your goals or your actual thoughts. It's just enough to give you a tiny bit of hope. And we are hope junkies. We take that little crumb and we build a whole imaginary 5-course meal around it in our heads. We think, see, he does care. She is thinking about me. We're so hungry for love and attention that we celebrate the bare minimum. But then there comes a moment of painful, heartbreaking clarity. It's not when they hurt you. It's not when they let you down. The most painful moment is when you look in the mirror and realize, I've been helping them hurt me. You see that you've been an accomplice in your own unhappiness. You've been making excuses for them. You've been accepting the crumbs. You've been turning down the volume on your own needs. And that realization hurts more than anything they ever did to you, because it means you haven't been on your own team. You've been betraying yourself every single day just to keep someone else comfortable. But it's also the moment you wake up. It's the moment your gut feeling bestie finally breaks through the noise and says, enough, it's time to choose you now. And that's where the real change begins. Okay, so we know why we stay in situations that hurt us. Now let's talk about the most important part. How do we stop? How do we break free from these habits? I'm going to give you some real practical tools you can use starting today. Think of this as your emergency kit for when your brain starts playing tricks on you. Trap number 1, the maybe I'm crazy trap. That voice that says maybe I'm overreacting, maybe it's not that big of a deal, blah, blah, blah. This is the trap where you doubt your own feelings and perceptions. Your tool is the mental post-it note. Here's what you do. When someone does something that gives you that icky feeling, instead of arguing with yourself about it, just imagine sticking a little mental post-it note on that moment. Don't judge it. Don't explain it away. Just notice it and label it. Interesting. He just made a joke about my weight. Post it. Or she promised to call and didn't. Post it. You're not starting a fight, you're not writing them off, you're just collecting data. If you only get one post-it note, maybe it was a bad day. But if you start seeing a whole wall of post-its, you have solid proof that you're not crazy, you're just observant. Trap number 2, the I can fix him trap. This is when you say because you're waiting for the potential. You're in love with the person they could be, not the person they are. He'll change when he gets a new job. She'll be nicer when she's less stressed. Your tool is the ultimate question. You need to ask yourself one life-changing question. Get ready because it's a powerful one. If this person never ever changes, could I be happy with them exactly as they are today? Not tomorrow, not next year, today. Be brutally honest with yourself. If the answer is a deep gut no, then you have your answer. Stop investing in a future that doesn't exist. Stop waiting for a version of them that lives only in your imagination. The truth is, time doesn't change people. It just makes them more of who they already are. Trap number 3, but he's had a hard life trap. This is where you become a therapist, a savior. You feel so bad for them because of their past trauma, their difficult childhood, their ex who hurt them, that you use it as an excuse for why they treat you poorly. Your tool is the fact check session. For this, you need a pen and paper. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Your mission, write down only their actions. Not their words, not their excuses, not their potential, just their actions. Did they say they'd call or did they actually call? Did they promise to be there or did they actually show up? Do they say they respect you but their actions are constantly dismissive? Words are cheap. They float away like clouds, but actions are solid. They are the truth. This list will be your reality check, your proof of what's really happening, stripped of all the sad stories and excuses. And finally, your superpower shield. This is a mantra, a phrase you say to yourself when you feel weak, when you're tempted to go back, when you want to forgive them for the 100th time for the same thing. Repeat this to yourself. I see you for who you are, and I choose to stop telling myself a different story. My gut was right about you from the beginning. This isn't being mean or holding a grudge. It's honoring yourself. It's choosing to believe the evidence your own eyes and heart have given you. You have everything you need inside you to choose relationships that lift you up. So where does all of this leave us? It leaves us with one simple thing, a choice. Choosing to stop making excuses for someone isn't just being mean or giving up on them, it's finally showing up for yourself. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. When you finally see people for who they truly are, not who we wish they were, we take our power back. We are no longer victims just waiting to be hurt. We become the CEOs of our own lives. We get to decide how we want to react. We get to choose if we want to stick around, set a firm boundary, or walk away with our heads held high. We free ourselves from the prison of just putting up with things. And that is the highest form of freedom there is. You will never ever be able to control another person. You can't force someone to be kind, to be loyal, or to change. But you always have control over one thing, your own 2 feet. You get to decide who gets to walk beside you in your life. You get to decide who gets access to your energy, your heart, and your precious time. And you get to decide to make that decision based on cold, hard facts, not on hopeful fantasies. This is your birthright. Now, this journey isn't always easy to do alone. If this video resonated with you and you want to continue this conversation, I would love to connect with you. Come follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, tell me your story, or just say hello. I'm always happy to listen and chat. It means the world to me to get to know you and for us to support each other. In the meantime, if this video helped you, do me a huge favor. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Tell me your biggest takeaway or just share how you're feeling. Remember, your gut is your superpower. Your voice matters. It's time to stop whispering and start speaking your truth unapologetically. You deserve a life that is not just okay, but absolutely radiantly beautiful. Now go out there and claim it. I believe in you. See you in the next one. Bye.